So it's been one heck of a ride since I began. But when I first started, I had no idea how to get a job. I had no idea what kind of jobs was out here. Pretty much the only knowledge of any type of jobs I knew about was fast food places, restaurants, but even then I didn't even know the first step on how to even obtain one of those jobs. So I basically got my first job from somebody that my parents knew. It was some like older lady that was about their age, and she said that they were needing people where she worked at, which was a McDonald's. And you know, me being 17 at that time, I was like, all right, let's see what happens, see how it goes. And you know, I got that job, and you know, the stereotype about, you know, McDonald's workers and all that, how they're pretty much looked down on. And I mean, yeah, I guess a McDonald's job is really, you know, you really ain't doing, you know, nothing with it. You ain't really gonna do anything, you know, big with that money. You're not gonna ball out with the money that you get paid from there. You know, so I ended up taking that job, and they hired me on as a maintenance guy. And you know, I thought that was pretty cool, not really having to, you know, work the grill or the front, nothing like that. They would use me sometimes. They throw me on the grill if it got real busy, but most of the times I was doing maintenance. I was unloading the trucks whenever you know, the trucks would get there. Cleaning the place, cleaning the grills. And I remember one time I was cleaning the grills, and they got this like big old container that catches the oil when you go to change it out. So I had taken that big old metal box out of there, and I don't know exactly what I was thinking, but I accidentally left the knob open that releases the old oil. I left it open, and then I go to clean, you know, I go to clean the fryers, and then I get done, and I pour in the new oil. I'm there just pouring it in, not really, you know, paying too much attention. And I fill that fryer up to the I fill that fryer full with the oil. And I walk away, and I'm hearing something like spill, and I'm like, you know what, like, what's that noise? And I turn around, and the oil's just spilling all over the floor. So I turn off. I go and turn the knob, which closes the oil from like falling. And there's a big old you know, puddle of oil just on the ground. And at that time, it was like we were switching over from breakfast to lunch. So whenever at that location, when we would switch, it would get crazy busy. So it was busy, and on top of that, you have a big old puddle of oil on the ground. Man, that was pretty wild. I didn't get in trouble for it or nothing like that. I felt like I had a lot of leeway there. They were real like lenient with me. You know, I've always been a chill person. Always been like, you know, real cool with it. So I mean, they didn't say nothing. That was pretty crazy. And I remember another time I was working at this truss. I was working at this truss company where they build trusses. And that job was probably the worst job I've ever had. Paid way better than McDonald's, but the type of work that was, it was the most like physically demanding jobs I've ever had, and that job gave me carpal tunnel for sure. And I still feel that carpal tunnel till this day. And that job, I haven't been there for like at least a good 6-7 years, 8 years, something like that. Like 8 years. And that job was crazy though. It was basically our tools that we used was, everybody carried a hammer with them. We all had a little tool belt with our hammer, and we got a person that comes and brings the 2x4s to us, and they're all cut at angles, and we have blueprints. All the 2x4s are labeled, so you just look at the blueprint, you go and find the trusses you need, and you throw them on the big table that they have there. Throw the wood on there first. Once you got the wood set up, you hop on, you start building the truss, and you have these like silver plates that attach the 2x4s together. And once you got the plate set up, you with the hammer, you hammer the four corners down of the plate, and then the middle, and then you slip the other one. You slip the other plate like parallel to the one that's on top. You slip that one underneath it, and once you got that done, we would you kind of like roll it out onto this like some type of like conveyor belt that will push it outside. And once it like pushes outside, there's like these big rollers that'll like flatten out those plates to secure like the 2x4s together. That place was darn near hell. The craziest thing about that place is that it was nothing but Hispanics. There was maybe one Caucasian working in the field, and that's it. But nothing but Hispanics. Everybody was Hispanic, and it was mainly older guys. At that point, I had to have been like 21. That was the first time that I experienced bullying on a whole nother level, and at a workplace. Man, that really gave me a reality check it gave me it really humbled me, because, you know, even though, you know, I really didn't deserve them treating me the way that they did, because out of all jobs that I've had, that place right there was the place that I received the worst treatment at, by my own people too. Now these people were savages. These people wouldn't you know, touch their heart to cuss you out. And I was a good worker. You know, I've always been a good worker at every single 9-to-5 job. Like I've said in previous videos, I've been top 10 straight up. And I've always been real, like, active growing up, playing soccer, doing boxing, doing martial arts. So I have, you know, I'm pretty athletic. So I can, you know, I got good stamina, so I can, you know, I can go. I can get it. And I feel like a lot of these people, more than anything, were haters. More than anything. And there was one day, there was a new hire. He had been there about 2 weeks. And it's wild because I had gotten a DUI like a few months prior, and I was, when it was pretty much a book and release, or I had to stay there for the weekend because it was like on a Saturday. But I met a guy at the jail, and he was a cool guy. He you know, I got along with him there. He was a chill guy, and that new hire at that job was his younger brother. And one day when we were going out to break, I was going to my car, and the new hire was standing next to my car, at his car, and his brother was there. His brother didn't work there, but I guess he just happened to be there during break. And I said what's up to his brother, and I said what's up to him. That was the first time that I had spoke with that new hire. And I thought we were cool. And one day we were working, and it was a pretty long day. Everybody was doing a good job. We were all getting it. And for some reason, that new hire had an issue with me. I could tell. I really tried to avoid any any type of tension. I tried to really keep to myself as much as I could. But one day, you know, once we threw the 2x4s up on the table, we got the plates that we needed. We hopped on the table and ran to the spots where we needed to be. And this dude, as we were running to the spots, he shoves me, and you know, me being younger, 21, ooh, that got me heated. That got me lit. And we built the truss, we sent it out, we got back down, and I was still lit. And I went up to him, and I told him, I was like, hey, what's your problem? Why did you shove me like that? And this guy was ready to fight at that point. And I didn't come up to him like using any fighting words whatsoever, not being disrespectful. I was pissed, I'm not gonna lie. And he basically told me like, well, what do you want to do? And I just told him like, well, I'm not trying to do nothing, but like, don't be like, shoving me like that. Don't be pushing me. Don't touch me. And this guy gets in my face, like real close. Like this guy, you could see the anger like through his eyes, and I told this guy like, dude, like chill out, basically. And he's just staring at me, not saying nothing. Then this dude headbutts me in the face. Man. As soon as he headbutted me, the older guys jumped in and got in the middle. There was quite a few of them, and man, I was ready to teach this guy a lesson. But one of the other guys, the one in charge, the supervisor, told us, hey, come with me. We're going to the office. And I told that guy, I'm like, no, it's cool. Like, nothing's gonna happen. It's fine. He's like, no, come on, let's go. And see, like, I had just barely had a daughter. I was going through it at that time. I was going through it pretty bad with certain things. At that time, my relationship was real rocky. So like, I didn't want to, like, I did not want to lose my job because, at that time I was pretty much like job hopping, just living wild, and I wanted to keep that job. And so I told him like, no, it's fine, nothing's gonna happen. And like, he just like looks at me and it's pretty much like, all right. And so yeah, they moved that guy to a different table, and after that, I would be on break, and he'd pass by and just mean mug me, just be staring at me. And I would even look his way. Even though I was young, I was pretty dumb at that time, but even then, I was still conscious enough to know that dude just wanted to get some type of reaction from me. And I would just ignore it. I stayed at that job for 8 months. After the 8th month, I was done with it. I was done. Too much hate in that place. Too much disrespect. You would think the elders there would look out after the youngins, especially being their own people, but nah, they wanted they wanted to see blood. So yeah, I was out. I got out of that job. Another job that I've been at was working concrete with my father-in-law, and that was probably one of my most favorite jobs. Hard work. That job right there was probably it comes to like second of a hard physical job. That job right there, I remember, and because you have to you have to work out in hot weather, a lot of digging, a lot of pushing dirt in wheelbarrows, pushing it up onto trailers, pushing the wheelbarrows up onto trailers. So it's definitely physically demanding. Like, you really got to have some drive and muscle to do that type of work. But I remember we were doing this job out in like a country area, and it was we were doing a house that wanted some concrete next to like this like pool area that they had. It was a nice house. It was a pretty big house. And I remember when I got there, and we were doing the measurements and all that. I was like, looking at the house, looking at the pool, and I was like, dang, man, this is how you guys are living. And I was like, shoot, at this moment I can't even afford a above ground pool. Man, wild stuff. But so we started working. We started the digging process, and so my father-in-law had to park his truck down a hill. Like, that's the only place that he could park his truck, and his trailer was connected to his truck. And we had to take the wheelbarrow up the hill to the spot that we were doing the work. And that day was 3 of us, and I'm the youngest there that day and the strongest that day, so you already know who's the one that had to take the wheelbarrow up and down the hill that day. It was a hot day, and we were digging. We were digging, putting the dirt into the wheelbarrow, having to haul it down. I had to haul it down, and we have like little ramps that's like connected to the trailer, so I had to like really catch some speed and make sure that as soon as I get to the ramp, because it's not a wide ramp, it's like maybe let's say a good like 1.5 feet. It was like 1.5 feet wide ramp. So yeah, as soon as you get to like as soon as you get to the ramp, you have to make sure that the wheel is gonna perfectly align to the ramp, and you have to take that wheelbarrow up onto the trailer and dump it, and then after that take it back up to the hill, go back up the hill to the spot where you're working at, and keep digging, and then just back and forth. I think I did a good like 15-20 trips that day. It was a hot day, man. That day when I got off, I was feeling it good. But I mean, I'm a strong young man. I'm a strong man. So yeah, it was hard, but I got it done. Not complaining. My father-in-law paid me good too. I had to stop working with him because of some reasons, but I'd still go. So pretty much every single job that I've had, they've always been real physically demanding jobs. And every single job that I've ever had, I've always been positioned into the heaviest part of the job. If I'm at a warehouse, I'm at the heaviest. I'm in the heaviest department. Any construction job, I always get made to do the jobs that are the heaviest. And it's just crazy how it's always been like that. Every single job, it's always been like that. I've never got to catch a break. And at every single one of those jobs, I have always given it my all, every single time. I've never backed down. I've always went the extra mile at those jobs. And though my perspective has changed when it comes to how you should work at these jobs, but me being young at that time, and throughout the years, you know, growing and just having to go the extra mile has, you know, really taught me some very important life lessons, for real. It really has made a impact on my worth ethic, to where at pretty much every single one of my jobs, I always get told that I'm the best employee there. Every single time. And there's always going to be people that are not going to want to admit it. But they see you. They see you and they recognize. And it's always been, even though there has been a lot of times where the managers didn't like me, supervisors didn't like me, but they knew who was the one that was going to get the job done, and who was going to be the one that was the best for the job as well. I've never got the the proper recognition for it. You know, I've never got promoted to any higher position. I've never got at least a good raise for the work that I've put out. I've always been ripped off at all my jobs, except for my father-in-law. But I mean, that's different. That's like, he's gonna look out after me. We're family. That's different. But at every single job, I've always been ripped off. I've always been passed on for promotions, for any type of what would you call it, promotions. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Every single time. Another worst experience that I've had, and this is going to be the last one I'm going to talk about in this video, was at a framing company. So I don't do real good with heights. I'm not even going to lie. So I started at this framing company, and my first day, I kid you not, they made me go on top of the stand on the trusses. And the trusses are basically what's on top, the very top of the house. That's what's gonna hold the roof. So I was standing on top of the trusses, and I had to put like pieces of wood, 2x6s, and I had to connect it. I had to nail them. I had to nail the trusses together so that they wouldn't move. And I was standing on top of the trusses, and it was my first day. And I was nervous as heck. I was borderline scared, for real. And I was like 20 at that time. And I got on my knees. I'm not even gonna lie. I got on my knees because of how scared I was, for real. And one of the workers was like, he got pissed. And he was like, hey, he's like, get up. Only bees get on their knees. He said the B word. And yeah, I didn't take too kindly to that, or the way that he spoke to me. I didn't say nothing, but that really, that hurt me at that time. Hurt my pride, hurt my ego, whatever the case is. I ended up getting up and doing it their way, I guess. And a few weeks later, I was putting on the OSB, like big old square wooden pieces of wood up against the frame of the house. And you have a nail gun with you, and you attach the OSB to the frame. And you have to make sure that you're holding the gun at a certain angle, or else the nails are gonna shoot right through the OSB. And I'm attaching the OSB to the 2x4s, and I'm doing pretty good. I'm going pretty fast too. I'm like, at that point, I'm already like confident, feeling myself, just going real quick. The last the last OSB board that I did, I didn't hold the gun at the proper angle. Every single one of those nails shot through, and they passed real close. They passed real close to one of my coworkers' heads. The one that said that crazy stuff to me. It was like some reap what you sow type of moment for him. And I just hear a hey, and I just stopped. I'm like, oh shoot, what did I do now? Because I'm the newest one on the crew. I'm the one that's gonna get talked to like that. I'm the one that's probably gonna make a mistake like that. So I go on the other side of the frame of the house to see what happened. And they were like, hey, you just shot nails through the OSB, and it passed right by his head. I didn't even know what to say. I was, sorry, my bad. I will, do better next time. Basically, what else could I say? But yeah, I could tell that they, they weren't really, fond of me. I was young. I was new to that. You could only expect, someone, that new to that field to, make mistakes like that. So pretty much, just try your best at these jobs. Try your best. When you feel like you need to go the extra mile, do it. When you feel like you just need to do your work and don't go above and beyond, do that too. But just make sure you do your work though. Do your work and actually work. But yeah, that's pretty much some stories that I got from these 9-to-5 jobs. So see you guys on the next one.